In our house, we have a bit of a running slogan. It doesn't matter if you're just returning from the restroom at a restaurant or walking back into the lounge room after grabbing a glass of water or coming home from an actual activity. The minute you step back into the room, someone looks up and sings, "Guess who's back? Back again." My apologies for the attempt at singing, but this is how I keep things real. Welcome back to I Had Plans. I'm Smaragda, and if you're finding me on your browser or your podcast app today after a bit of a quiet spell, yes, I'm still here, and no, I haven't quit. To begin, I want you to picture that pair of dusty running shoes sitting at the back of your closet. The ones that you bought with the best of intentions, when you made a New Year's resolution or a mid-year resolution to get back into running, exercise, or eating healthy, like we all do. And then look at your screen. You'll see that little microphone icon? That's my pair of dusty running shoes sitting in the back of the closet. Because I had plans, and then life happened, and the routine broke. So I've been away for a while. And I've been staring at the record button and thinking about it for a couple of weeks. Not feeling dread so much, but more guilty that I didn't stick to my plan. So today we're doing a big heavy dose of life translation. How do you return to a goal after a pause? We see this all over social media, don't we? This toxic culture of constantly hustling, working hard, being busy, and always bouncing back, better than ever. You've had a child, you bounce back. You took time off work, you bounced back. Life threw lemons at you, you bounced back. On the spot, better than ever. But let's translate that myth a bit. Honestly, it's garbage. Because real life doesn't bounce and we don't bounce back. You have to crawl before you walk, and then you run. So today, I want to break down that paralysis of restarting. And it could be restarting anything. It could be restarting your gym routine, which I also intend to restart. It could be restarting and getting back on track with your business goals. Or back behind a microphone, which is what I'm doing today. Here's the truth about my absence. I have not been sitting on the couch having snacks and lots of pasta, which I love, watching Netflix and enjoying life. I have done so much in the past few weeks that if I sat here and started recounting everything I've done and has happened in the past few weeks, we'd need a 3-part mini-series. And honestly, you wouldn't believe some of it. Projects, growth, life, lemons, lots of lemonade. It's been massive. And it made me realize something crucial, that sometimes you don't just need a pause. We often think we don't. I also thought I didn't, but it's worth it. Because in this digital age where we live, we feel like if we're not constantly producing content, smashing goals, documenting our journey online and sharing it, we think we're failing. But here's the thing, and we all know this. When you're busy living life, not finding the time to write that LinkedIn post or record that podcast episode, it's not a failure, it's a win. Because you're busy doing the work, not just talking about the work. So I think it's always important that we remember that. And eventually you do put the running shoes back on. You do bring out the microphone again. And when you do, your lazy brain will try to build a mountain out of a molehill. That's the only way I can explain it. Your brain just says, look, now we have to do a grueling 2-hour running session or exercise session to make up for lost time. Or you haven't recorded a podcast episode in a couple of weeks, so this one has to be an absolute masterpiece to prove to yourself and others that you've still got it and you're still here. But is that really the case? Our brain tries to convince us that it is, but it's not, is it? You don't need to break your PB record on your first day back at the gym, and you don't need to record your best podcast episode ever as soon as you're back. Although I think this is a good one. You just need to show up. Because when you're restarting, it's not about perfection, it's about gaining momentum again. And it's about convincing your brain that, yes, it's not that hard. So how do we restart without pulling a mental muscle? I always lower the bar. I say to myself, look, I'm not going to record an episode today. I'm just going to draft my notes, a quick outline, and I'll think about recording it another time. I convince myself, number 2, to stop feeling guilty about the time away. What's happened, and it happened for a reason, and that's how it is. And number 3, I remember that action creates motivation. So for me especially, doing that one simple task of drafting a couple of notes will often give me the momentum to keep going. And here I am, recording the actual episode in the same day. Everyone has plans, and the hardest part of them is not doing the work, it's starting again after you've stopped. So if your goal's collecting dust at the back of the closet, shake them off, because the pause was great, wasn't it? But the restart is what matters. Tell me about you. If you're listening to this right now, hit that follow button and then send me a message. What's the one goal you've been avoiding restarting? Or how do you restart after a pause? Let's talk about it. If you've missed a big episode right before my pause, we broke down why your everyday tech tools feel like a moody landlord sometimes. So you might want to catch up on that tech translation episode. Episode 30, The Cloud is Just Someone Else's Computer. A quick reminder before I go that you had plans. So put those shoes on, make that healthy meal, work on your business, or just hit the record button. I'm Smaragda, and I'll catch you next week.